Hey, everybody out there in social media land. This is Dr. Adam with My Family Chiropractic. So, in tonight's spinal workshop, we're going to be talking about gas. Gasoline, possibly? No. Indigestion? No. Bad hair? No. However, all of those things exist, but what we're talking about when we talk about gas is what we're grateful for. What are some actionable things that we need to do to better ourselves? And what is our secret or selfless service? So, this time of year gets us thinking big time about things like gratitudes and grateful, right? You go back a couple weeks, we had Thanksgiving. Everybody's talking about what they're grateful for there, what they're thankful for. In fact, there's a bunch of people throughout the month of November that work on one little thing every day that they send somebody a thank you, send somebody a thinking of you, send somebody a I'm grateful for you, or what have you. That's fantastic. Don't get me wrong. But they beat themselves up when they miss a day, right? This is not to beat yourself up and miss when you miss something. It's just to strive to keep doing better. So a gas card is simple. It is literally writing those three categories. What are you grateful for? What are some things you need to work on? And what are you going to do for others? Now, pardon that. When we look at things this time of year, we think a lot about what we can do for others, whether that may be making a meal for somebody that you know that is a widow or widower. Maybe it's shoveling off your neighbor's sidewalk when they're, elderly, or if they broke an arm or a leg or what have you. Maybe it is inviting somebody over for dinner. Any number of different things. Maybe you're out and you're like me, you really appreciate the veterans, and you happen to see somebody sitting there in a CVN 63 hat, meaning that they served on the USS Kitty Hawk. The only reason why I know those numbers and that's my dad's ship that he was on. And you see something like that and you're like, okay. So you talk to the waitress and say, listen, he's not paying for his meal. Put that meal on my tab. Don't let him know. I just want to pay for it so he doesn't have to worry about it today. Yeah, it might cost you $20, $30, something like that. But in the long run, it's a huge, huge thing to do for them. So those secret or selfless services are a little more difficult to come by, but what I want you to think about with those are what are you able to do for somebody else without the expectation of them saying thank you for it? It's to remain secretive. It's to be that secret Santa, if you will. So somebody has no idea what you're doing for them. And that if they want to pay it forward, they can pay it forward. But they don't have to, right? I watched a TikTok, and this happens a lot on this time of year. I wish it happened more throughout the year. But there was this nice married couple, two kids, going through line at like a Walmart or what have you, and they had their groceries. And this gal just comes up from behind and says, "Oh, excuse me, I need to check something real quick," and boops her credit card and pays for their meal or their groceries. Now, granted, that was probably a few $100s, right? In today's day and age, if you have a full grocery cart, you're well over $200. Back when I was growing up, that grocery cart was a tenth of that, right? It was $20 to $30 for a full grocery cart. It wasn't hundreds. So it's definitely much less affordable now. And so to do that for somebody is huge. And this person was in shock. They put their groceries in their car and they felt so compelled and inspired to come back and say thank you, right? Now that gal tried her best to be a secret service or selfless service and scan it and be gone before they could ever find her again. But the nice people of the store, they went ahead and ratted her out and said she's right over there, and so the young lady, the mom, went over and thanked her profusely. right? And she said, it's just so, you have no idea how much this means to us. We've been struggling just to, buy formula. And because she had one baby that was, I don't know, looked to be 6 months. She goes, we're just struggling just to buy formula and, and diapers and stuff like that. You have no idea how much this helps us. Thank you so very much. She goes, well, did you get any formula or diapers? She goes, no, we still have about a half a can. So we're okay for right now. And you could tell she wasn't asking for help. She was just saying thank you because we need this. And that young lady that paid for the groceries insisted on going back and getting diapers and getting formula and getting other things that they needed and spent an additional $300. Okay. Now, I'm not asking you guys to go out and do that. That's not what this gas is all about. But it's about doing something small, something that may change the lives of others out there in just a little way. We don't know the struggles that people go through. We have no idea the tribulations that people are dealing with on a day-to-day life because we're not them. What might seem astronomically difficult for us may be absolutely a piece of cake for somebody else. And what we see as a piece of cake may be an absolute struggle for someone else. It's because we're all different. So doing something small, just heck, even opening a door for somebody nowadays is huge. So I ask you to sit down this holiday season. Think about those gas cards. Write the things that you're grateful for, right? You'll write as many as you want. Then with the actions, what do you need to do to better yourself? 1 or 2 items. This might be, I'm going to read scripture. This might be, I'm going to work on meditation. This might be, I'm going to call a good friend of mine that I haven't heard from in a while. I'm going to check on them. This might be, I'm going to make sure that all of the dishes are done, or whatever the case may be, or the dinner's ready for when my spouse comes home, or whatever, right? Those last 2 kind of go into the secret and selfless service, but also kind of in the actions, right? So it's, what are you doing to better yourself, better your relationship, right? That you're going to get benefit from, okay? And then the last one, like I said, is that secret or selfless service. So I really, really want you to focus on that this time of year. But more importantly than this time of year is I want you to focus on that year round. Yeah, we're all in the giving mood. We're all in the spirit of Christmas, if you will, this time of year. But what about in March? What about in June? Those times of year people need it too. So I implore you, think about what you can do to brighten your community, even if it's a little thing. Maybe smile at somebody who's frowning, right? Ask if there's anything you can do to help. They may just look at you and curse you out. Okay, fine. You tried. That's all that really matters in the long scheme of things, right? Is just trying. Give it some effort. You'd be surprised how far-reaching something you think, say, or do today will affect the lives of millions tomorrow. That quote is from B.J. Palmer, the developer of chiropractic. And I'll tell you, I think about that quote daily because I can't tell you how many times I do something small, like an adjustment, that changes somebody's life in the long run massively. That's what I ask you to do in your own way, with your own things. Why do I ask this? Well, because we are a body that lives from above down, inside out, meaning from our brain to our body and throughout. Now, if we don't healthify our brain, we don't enrich our own cerebrum, we can't fill the cups of others. This helps fill your own cup. So get out there, do something absolutely amazing, whether it be small or huge, for somebody else, and fill your cups this holiday season. And with that, I wish you a very beautiful and safe holiday, as well as a very Merry Christmas. From my family to yours, may you have a very blessed new year. Bye bye.